Hi everyone, Steve here. Well, welcome back to another video, and I'm back in the shed again. It's another warm day, and I'm going to do a follow-up video on my Rock Armour 12 volt air fryer. Thank you very much everyone for commenting and liking my video on this one. It's had tremendous response, and I didn't realise there were so many people out there that would be interested in this video. So I'm going to answer a couple of questions which I have been on my channel. I've answered nearly everyone's questions, and thank you very much for all the different range of questions. A lot of people have said that they've been thinking about buying one of these, and said that they enjoyed the video. A lot of people have asked me a lot more questions about whether I can do comparisons on 240 volt ones. Stay tuned, I'll talk about that more in a minute. And asking me whether I can compare it with the Travel Buddy oven. I will do all that. I had planned to do all that. My initial video was just basically not a review on this product. Like I said, if I'm going to do an honest review, I've got to use it for a while and come up with an informed opinion on whether I reckon it's worth the money I paid for it, and you get good value out of it when you're heating stuff up. So, but I am going to answer one of the questions hopefully in this video, and that will be, how will it compare to a 240 volt air fryer of similar size and power usage, or power usage as in watts. So one's 12, this one's 240 volt. So taste the difference. Air fryer 1000 watts and about the same size in cooking elements and everything like that. So I'm going to be running tests on this one today to see the power usage on this one, and I'll redo the power usage on this one because on my initial video I had my solar panels putting charge in, I had my fridge running, and I don't think I had a really comprehensive power usage that I could actually show you. But I'm going to make sure all those factors are right. I'm going to cook something up in this one first, some more chicken tenders, and I'll put them on for as long as they take to cook. I reckon they'll take 30 minutes. On my previous video, I think I put them in, I let this heat up for 10 minutes and then I put them in, and then I had to put them in for another 10 minutes. So I reckon if I put these in for 30 minutes, they'll be cooked, and they'll be cooked nice. I think in the 240 volt one, I reckon they're only going to take 15 to 18 minutes. So it'll be interesting to see the difference in power usage, whether that one with the inverter running uses more or less, and this one just running straight off the 12 volt system in the car with the Anderson plug, whether it uses what it uses. So 240 versus 12 volt air fryer face off. Like I said though, had a lot of questions about this, and it was basically about whether I thought it was worthwhile. I'm going to hopefully answer those questions either in this video and in a long-term review once I've had a chance to use this one, or whether this one works better and I decide to use that one. I hope not. I hope this one wins, because this one here, I bought it on special, and I thought it was on special, and I just noticed that they were even cheaper now. So I don't know whether they're getting out of this one, because I have bought out a 4 litre version, and it actually has a temperature control on it now, which this one has, plus a timer. This one's only got a timer, and this one stays at 200 degrees, and you can adjust the time though. This one here, you can turn it anywhere from 0 right up to 200 degrees, and it has a timer. So I think with the 4 litre one, if you are thinking about buying one, if this does work out, I think get one with a temperature control, because that way you can adjust the temperature. But I said originally I went with this one basically because of the price. The 4 litre one was still like 250 bucks, and this one was about 230, and they had it reduced to 179 with postage. I think I got on there the other day and I was looking at their website and they had it down to 150. So I've got a feeling that this one here might become a discontinued line. I don't know whether it will or not, but it very well could be. But it was actually another 25 bucks cheaper than what I paid for it. So they are reasonably expensive. And one of the comments I got, it's a rip-off. Why would you pay $200 for a 12 volt one when you can go out and buy that one? I think that one there, they're around $89 to $100 for that particular size. I got this one at a second-hand shop, so it was an unwanted present. It actually has never been used, but I got it really cheap, so that's why I bought it. That's why I'm doing the video. I was trying to find one, and I was lucky enough to walk into a second-hand shop and get one bloody brand new and really cheap. So works for you guys, and that's why I said to one of the guys that put the comment on about, you know, these are a rip-off. I said that's why I do the videos, because hopefully you can get something out of it and make up an informed opinion from my video. Hopefully it'll help you out in your decision making, whether you will buy this 12 volt one or whether you can go for the 240. Now, another comment was that a lot of people probably would go for this because their 12 volt system, they mightn't be able to afford to upgrade to an inverter, a bigger battery system. They might have a big enough battery that can run this off 12 volt, but having a big enough battery to run a 1500 to 2000 watt inverter can become quite expensive. So that is something to remember when you are thinking about purchasing stuff like this. You may have to pay a little bit more money initially to get something 12 volt, whereas something 240 volt might be cheaper. So that's something to consider. It was something I didn't think about. Like I said, originally I only purchased this one because of it was on special basically. And I'd seen Rob from Australian Camping and Four Wheel Drives, he's got the 4 litre one, and he was quite impressed with it. And this one here on my initial test, when I unplugged everything else that was using power, was using around 18 amps. So it was just 18 amps constantly because it just sits at 200 degrees and it was chewing 18 amps. So it'll be 18 amps for how long ever you're cooking, whether it's 30 minutes, 60 minutes, it'll be 18 amps. And I think I used about 5% of my battery over that cook time, but I did have a little bit of solar power going in there for half the cooking time. So today will be a more true test to what the power usage is going to be. But a lot of the comments I had was just people going, wow, thanks for sharing it. Been thinking about one of these. A couple of comments were people saying, yeah, I've had the 4 litre one, it was on back order, but it's come back in. They're really hoping to use it. I hope it's all working out for you guys. I think they do have their place in the camping market, but today I'll be focusing on doing a test between these two products, and in a future video I will do a video on how much the Travel Buddy actually uses compared to the 12 volt power of this. Another question that I'll answer now too, what I think of it, should I put a step-up converter on this? You know how I did originally have a step-up converter on my original battery I had. It was only my original lithium battery I had in the car. It was a 100 amp hour slimline lithium battery, the iTech World one, and I bought a step-up converter and fitted in the FJ. I think I got an old video in there about that, about the step-up converter. If I can find it and link it, I'll put it up on the screen if you want to have a look at it. But I think I wasn't understanding originally with step-up converters, if you've got an AGM battery and you're running 12 volt off it, now correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm saying the wrong thing here, but my understanding is if you've got an AGM battery, which a lot of people aren't running anymore, that was when step-up converters first come out, and everyone said, you know, put a 14 or 15 volt step-up converter in, and when you turn your Travel Buddy on, it will take a lot of power out of your AGM battery, and the voltage may drop down to below 12.4 volts or something like that, instead of sitting at that 13.2 or 13.5 volts that a lithium battery will sit at, and the Travel Buddy won't run as good. So putting a step-up converter in, it keeps that voltage stepped up to 14 volts, and the Travel Buddy heats up a lot better. But with lithium batteries, they maintain their voltage unless it's running down really flat. But a lithium battery will hold its voltage at 13.2, 13.3 volts, and there's no need to have the step-up converter. That's what I've been told. So if I'm wrong, someone point it out in the comments and I'll talk about it on the next video. But Simon from Lock Your Hubs In, if you happen to watch this, let me know. Maybe you can put a comment down and let me know about that statement, whether it's true or not. But that's my understanding. So would I put a step-up converter on this? No, because I don't know whether the voltage would handle or whether I'd end up wrecking the thing. I don't want to break it just for the sake of getting an extra 1 or 2 volts. But I've got a feeling my lithium battery will keep this at putting 13.1 volts in it anyway. So I don't think there's any need to. I don't use my step-up converter anymore. It's sitting over on the bench over there, so maybe I don't know what I'll do with it, but I'll stop gas bagging now because the video will go way too long again. I'm not going to go through all the cooking times and all that. I'll just do a quick rundown. I will tell you how long it takes to cook each, you know, whether this takes 30 minutes and this takes 18 minutes, but I more want to show you the power usage. So I'm going to get this one on first, get it heated up. Well, I'm not going to heat it up actually. I'm just going to plug it into the 12 volt, put my chicken tenders in there, turn it on for 30 minutes and let them cook. Then I'll do exactly the same with the other one. I'll put the chicken tenders in there, turn it on to the required temperature. I think it's 200 degrees, it says on the package, for 18 minutes. And see how they come out. So like I said, they're basically the same size. There's the drawer off that one, and they're basically the same shape. There's the drawer off that one. So they're nearly identical in size, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be pretty nearly identical in power usage. They only both go up to 200 degrees. The only difference is this one is 12 volt and this one is 240 volts. So I will be plugging this into my inverter, running my inverter with this one, plus that will be converting the 12 volt to 240 volt. This one will be running straight off the 12 volt. Cheers everyone. If you've got any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Let's get this cook up and test going. Cheers. Okay, I've got everything set up. I have turned off my solar panels. I have turned my fridge off. The only thing that will be running and taking power out of the battery will be this 12 volt air fryer. Now, I'll put this up on the screen, but as you can see, 100% full and 200 amp hours capacity. There is no present amps coming out. So let's turn this on and you should see that we better not put it on for 40 minutes, 30 minutes. There we go. And it is running. So let's see. I don't know why it's not saying there's any amps coming out. We'll go around to the side of the car. We'll double check it. My little app is frozen, I think. We'll come around here. Okay. There we go there. Technology. So there you go there. 100%, 13.6 volts and nearly 18 amps coming out, 241 watts. So 11 hours and 34 minutes it's saying that I've got battery capacity at that rate. So should roughly for 30 minutes stay above 13 volts. I don't think it will drop below that, but we will see what happens. So there you go. I'll see if I can get this app on my phone to reconnect properly. There we go, it's working now. So I'll put that back up on the screen again, showing a little bit different information because that screen is running off the shunt that I just showed you, that one there. And this screen here is running off the battery itself. It's connecting Bluetooth to the battery. They're basically showing the same thing. One's saying 99.7 and the other one is saying 100% still. 10 hours 43 minutes, that's saying 11 hours 17 minutes. 13.6, 13.4, and it's saying 18.2 volts coming out of it. So we will come back in 30 minutes, or about 29 minutes now, and we'll see what everything's sitting at. Cheers everyone, bye. Okay, the bell just went off, they're cooked. Let's open it up and have a look. Oh yeah, look at the steam coming off that, just fogged up my camera. Yeah, so they are definitely cooked. I'll put the camera over here because the sun's behind me, but definitely cooked. So we'll pull the drawer out, we'll sit them down there. So 30 minutes is the sweet spot for cooking up those things. I think 30 minutes is going to be the sweet spot for most stuff, but what you want to know is what have we used. So I've got it recording, I've got it up on my phone. We are at 95.4%, so that's basically what I was at before when I had all the solar panels and the fridge running. So still at 13.3 volts. So like I was talking about before, it shouldn't go under 13 volts. And there's no amps coming up now because that's switched off, but pretty happy with that. So less than 5% of the battery capacity of 200 amp hours. So I've still got 190.8 amp hours left, and that's coming from the app on the phone there, just in case it doesn't record. There you go there, 95.4%, 190 amp hours, 13.3 volts. So there you go, 30 minutes cooking those to that. So what I'm going to do now is put the electric, I'm going to get the battery charge back up to 100%. I'm going to plug the 240 into it and get it back to 100%. Then run the same test with the 240, put the chicken tenders in. I'll put them on for their 18 minutes, which it says on the cooking thing with a 240 volt. And I'll check them and see if they're cooked. If they're cooked, I will take them out and we'll see what the usage is. If they need longer, I will put it on longer and we'll see what the usage is with that. Cheers everyone. Just so you know, that's the tenders there. Nice and crunchy, cooked beautifully. They are absolutely yummy. So I'm going to take the rest of those in Danny. I've got the battery charging back up now, and we'll get the other test going. Cheers. Just thought I'd quickly show you how I'm charging the battery back up to 100%. Got my 2000 watt inverter charger there, so got it turned on, got the 240 plugged into it there, and it's putting in 64 amps and it should be fully charged pretty quickly. So it's already up to 98%, 195 amp hours, nearly back to 13.7 volts. Got 895 watts going in. So this inverter is really good for charging up the battery really quick. 99%, it's going to be fully charged within the next minute or so, and we'll be ready to go with the next part of the test. Okay, cheers. Okay, it's all charged up. I'll just show you the screen down here. I'll show you the display on the phone in a second. 100%, 13.8 volts, 99.58 hours because there's no power coming out. So the inverter is switched off again. I've got the 240 disconnected, so let's switch the inverter on. You'll see it come on and you'll see the amperage go up here. It should use around 2 to 3 amps. So we are now converting 12 volt power to 240 volt power. Now I've got to find my cord in my jumble of mess down here. Sorry guys, I should have been more prepared, shouldn't I? It's not as bad as it looks, honestly. We'll plug my 240 cord to my power bank at the back, switch that on. So we'll have a look at the voltage there, 2.34 amps, 100% still. Grab my phone, walk around the back here. There's the 12 volt one. 240 volt one is up here. Now I've got it plugged into this here. The red light is on. Chicken tenders are in there. Let's, I'm not sure how we start all this. Let's set it for 18 minutes at 200 degrees. So 200 degrees, it starts straight up. I can hear this one running a little bit louder than the other one. Now the other tenders in the 12 volt were 30 minutes. This one is 18 minutes. So that's what it says on the instructions there. 18 minutes. I know it takes 30 in the other one. So we'll let this run. I better tell you the power consumption now, better I. I'll have a look at my phone. Here we go here. So what are we using? 94 amps. So it's using a lot more amperage, way a lot more. So 12 volt only used 22 amps. This is using 94.5 amps. So we'll go back around to the other screen because it gives you the wattage and everything as well. So let's come back around here. So we're using 1.1 kilowatts and 92 amps. So using a heap more power, and you can see the battery has now dropped down to 12.8 volts. So never dropped below 13 volts with running the 12 volt part of the air fryer. So I'm going to say that the 12 volt is going to be more economical than the 240 volt. So we'll wait and see how it all finishes up. We won't make any assumptions till they're cooked because this is only going to go for 18 minutes. But using how much more? It was only using 18 volts, 18 amps with the 12 volt and nearly 100 amps coming out with the 240 volt. So my inverter charger uses about 2 amps. So this 240 volt 1000 watt inverter, air fryer I should say, is basically using what it says, because it says it's a 1000 watt air fryer. So that's exactly what it's using. So let's see what happens. Cheers everyone. And that's probably the smallest air fryer you can find. Most of them are anywhere up around 1700 to 2000 watts. So this is only 1000, and that's basically what it's using. Now I just noticed it's just dropped down. So there we go, 3.72 amps. So it probably was using that amount of power when it was heating up. So maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe we might have a winner. Who knows? This is getting interesting, guys. The inverter has just sort of shut down because the 240 is now just using the power that it's heated up. I'm sure if that air fryer needs more heat and goes into a heating cycle again, this will go back up again. I'll let you know, but for the moment, let's wait and see in another 16 minutes. Yep, it just cycled back on again while I'm talking. So that's what it's doing. It's cycling, heating up and cooling down. 92 amps again. The inverter is cut back in again. And wow, let's wait and see what happens in the end. Very exciting, isn't it? Thanks very much everyone for asking me to do this test. It is looking real interesting. I hope you are going to stick around to the end and find out what's happened. So cheers everyone. Make sure you leave a comment down below. For all the people that asked me to do this test, thank you very much. I'm glad I could find this little cooker to do the test. I think it's the perfect one for this, whatever the result may be. So cheers everyone. I'll see you in another 14 minutes. So it's already just about there. So cheers everyone. Okay guys, I have been checking this. I checked it at like the 10-minute mark left to go. So I think I had it set on like 19 minutes. So it was going for 9 minutes and they were cooking really well, and I reckon they're not going to take 18 minutes or 19 minutes I had them for. So I just looked at them. Now this does switch off when you open it. Have a look at those. They're nice and golden brown. I reckon they're cooked. So I'm not going to cook them anymore. I said I would only run this to the point where I've got to put my camera down for a second, guys. I can't shut that door. That drawer is a little bit sticky. So I reckon they're cooked. I'm going to switch this off. There you go. Ding. The test is over. So I'll do some screen recording. So what have we got? Here we are here. I'll put this up on the screen. I've got it screen recording now. We're at 189.2 amp hours, 13.2 volts, because everything's off except for the inverter. We're back to 13.2. 2.4 amps because the inverter's still switched on. And to see everything else, we'll have to go around to the other screen because it gives you a little bit more information than what that app does. So we're currently using 24.9 watts, 13.2, 95%. The app is saying 94.6. So that's pretty close in usage and cook time. The 240 is slightly heavier. It's a little bit more harder on your system. So what we'll do now is we'll go set the two air fryers back up on the bench and we'll have some final thoughts. Okay guys, cheers. Okay, we're sitting down. I've got the, whoop, nearly lost them. I've got the chicken tenders out. We'll do a bit of a taste test. They're good. I don't know what I've done with my drink over here. Just about drunk at all. So what did you reckon about all that? From the facts and figures that I put up on the screen, I put them up again. Let me have a look at my phone because I've got them all recorded. And we'll go back to my photos. I'll stick these up on the screen as I'm talking about them. So the final results of the 12 volt air fryer was 95.4%, 13.3 volts, 190.8 amp hours left in the battery. Now this constantly used 18 amps for 30 minutes. So that's the figures there, 95.4, 13.3 volts, 190.8 amp hours left. So it used, 4.6% of my battery for 30 minutes. This one here will go to that final screen recording, and I'll put that up on the screen. So the 240 volt one, 94.6. So it's roughly 1% more power usage for about 14 minutes. So I did not cook them for 18 minutes because they were already cooked. So I said I'd only cook them I'd only use them till they were cooked. So 14 minutes, which was 4 minutes less than the cook time stated on the box, and it used 189.2 amp hours and 13.2 volts, so roughly the same, but my battery percentage is 1% less. More, sorry, 1% more using this. Very close, very similar, but the thing that I think you've got to take into consideration is one of the questions that was put to me. Not everyone can afford a good 240 volt system. If you have a good 240 volt system and you want to save a few dollars, as in price in buying a product, go for the 240 volt one. That's what I could say. If you've got a really good inverter, a really good lithium battery that can handle over 1 kilowatt of power coming out, and remember too, if you've got a bigger air fryer, any like 1700 watts or something, or 2000 watts, those figures could be dramatically more. You could nearly double it. I reckon your battery percentage would be down to 92%. So really good test, I think. A really good demonstration of these products. But for me, I think this one I will call the winner, because even though it's priced a little bit dearer in purchasing, anyone with a reasonable 12 volt system can cook up a meal that may take, what, 15 minutes longer, but still uses less power, so your battery should be able to recover quicker. I have the luxury here of having 240 volt that I could get my battery back to fully 100% charge within a matter of 5 minutes. But I've got my inverter there. If I was camping off grid and it was cloudy weather, I could just turn the inverter on, get my battery charged back up again, then put the generator away. Sorry, I've got the generator. Plug it into my inverter and get my battery charged back up again. I could just plug my 240 volt straight into the inverter and not worry about any batteries. That's why I've bought that. But what we're talking about here now, the pros and cons of 12 volt and 240 volt. If you've got a really good 240 volt system in your car with a good inverter, and you can put your power back in and you want to save a few dollars on purchase price, you can pick these up as cheap as chips or chicken tenders. So yeah, this one does cook really quick, a lot quicker than the 12 volt. That's probably to do with the element and the power and all that sort of thing. But for me, I think this one is going to be the winner when I only want to use 12 volt. I may put this one in the caravan because it's light, it's tiny, and I could plug this into my all powers unit, put a photo of it up on the screen, because it has a 2000 watt inverter in it. And if I wanted to cook something really quickly, just didn't want to muck around, I could just plug this in to the inverter on that. If it drained the battery down to 50%, well, I'll just plug it in and charge it back up again. It's no hassle at all. So I hope you got something out of this. Really depends on your setup. But if you've got a basic 12 volt system with a 100 amp hour battery, I think the 12 volt one, you can't really beat it. Even though you've got to fork out a little bit more money to start off with, I think you can't go wrong. I'm pretty sure the 4 litre version uses 18 amps as well. Now this one here, as you would have noticed when I was doing the thing, it was using 1 kilowatt, which was 94 amps. It cycled on and off every minute or so. So it would go down to 3 amps, which is basically the inverter running and a little bit of power of this. And then after about a minute, it would go back up to 94 amps. So in that 14 minutes, it may have done that about 6 or 7 times. I just lost count. So yeah, this here constantly 18 amps. That's all it uses. And the other thing too, it didn't matter where you had the temperature level either. If you had it set at 80 degrees, it still used 94 amps. So anyone that thinks by turning the temperature down a bit, you save a little bit of power, nope. It uses 94 amps regardless. I did a test on it just after I was finished because I thought of that. And I just mucked around with the knob, and yeah, so there you go there. I'm going to go eat my chicken tenders before they get cold. Leave a comment down below. Thank you very much for watching. If you can hit the like and subscribe, that would be really great as well, because that's the way I can bring you these type of videos. I paid for all this stuff out of my own money. I didn't get it given to me. The little bit of money I make out of YouTube helped me buy this and also helped me buy this. So if you've got a product that you want me to try and test, let me know. I'll see if I can afford it, and I'll do some tests for you. That's what I want to try and do with my channel, is try and help you guys out so you can get an informed opinion on how these things work. But as for a long-term review of both of these products now, that will come in the future. Whether this thing has longevity or this one. The only thing I don't like about this one is this one here, like I said on my video, when you pull the drawer out, it just keeps running. This one here has got 2 little bloody buttons up on the inside of the lid there, and when you pull it out, it shuts down. Push it back in and it starts back up again. But I tell you what, they're real hard to get that drawer in properly when you want to shut it. So it was only a cheap thing from, maybe that's why it got sent to the second-hand shop. So cheers everyone, stay safe, look after each other, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers, bye. I'm going to go eat these now. See ya.